Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all good? Y'all listen. Let's try something different. Let's throw something different in the mix. Because sometimes Love and Marriage Huntsville can be real heavy. It's a lot of content out there already about Love and Marriage Huntsville. It can get exhausting. Some of the content just be so negative, so biased, sometimes we just need a break. And Hulu has this series called Black Cake, and it's an adaptation of the novel Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. And the description reads, "We can't choose what we inherit, but we can choose who we become." And it states that Charmaine Wilkerson's debut novel is a story of how the inheritance of betrayals, secrets, memories, and even names can shape relationships and history. Deeply evocative and beautifully written, Black Cake is an extraordinary journey through the life of a family changed forever by the choices of its matriarch. Y'all, I think this might be good. So let's just give the first episode a try and see what we think about it. If you've seen it before, y'all don't spoil it for everybody, okay? But let's get into it, just to see what it's about. So when the first episode opens up, it's a young girl. She running. At first I thought she was in the jungle. I don't know where that child was, but she was running. She's trying to get away from something. She makes it to the ocean and she jumps in. And I'm like, where's she finna go this time of night? In that water. Then it cuts to an older lady sitting by the ocean with her surfboard, and she's just staring out into the ocean. She looks like she has a lot on her mind. She looks really stressed. And you hear this young man talking. So then the scene cuts to a young man speaking at career day. So it's cutting back and forth to the young man who's talking and the lady that's sitting by the ocean. So the lady that's sitting by the ocean, she gets up and goes into the ocean on her surfboard. And she's just sitting there, and a wave comes and takes her out. And I'm like, oh my god, I know this lady did not just expire herself. Like, what is happening? Because when it flashed over to the young man and come back to the lady, you don't see nothing but her surfboard. Then you see that same young man, he's running to the hospital and he say, "Mom, mom." So the young lady, the older lady that was at the ocean is his mom. And do like we do. What were you thinking? Did you have your wetsuit on? Why were you even out there? See, that's why I don't let you do nothing. Because y'all know how it is, baby. They think they grown, but see, we the adults now. So y'all kind of like our kids. So we have to take care of y'all, make sure y'all doing what y'all supposed to be doing. So he, asked her all the questions, and she like, I can't even remember what happened or whatever. So then the scene cuts to a young lady that's laying on the floor, and her phone rings, and the name that comes up says Byron. She doesn't answer the phone. She just looks at it and think it's like her face is saying, what do he want? What's going on? Don't answer the phone. So the scene comes back to the hospital, and the doctor walks in and she calls the lady Eleanor. So her name is Eleanor. And she was like, this is my son, Byron. Basically whatever you have to say, you can say it in front of us. So the doctor tells her in time with therapy, her ribs and her leg will heal. She said, but your CAT scan showed that you have a brain tumor. And the son is in shock. Like, he is visibly upset. He leaves out of the room because he can't believe what he just heard, right? So the young lady's phone rings again, and it's Byron calling her. Her name is Benny. He trying to let her know what happened to the mom. She don't answer, so he send a message and say mom had an accident. Evidently, Benny still didn't call back, because Byron called her back and her voicemail says, "This is Benny, do not leave a message." He left a message anyway to let her know mom's fine, I'm here, no need to call back. And I was like, oh, they must don't see it for just because the way Byron sounds. He sounds like, I am so tired of her. I am tired of her. So he goes back in to check on his mom, and he's asking her if she's hungry. But she's watching this video about chayote and she's distracted. He's like, Mom, you hungry? And she just looking at him. He's like, what can I get you? Some chayote? And she was like, you can't get that in Orange County. He was like, is that something that y'all had growing up? He said, I know you don't like to talk about your past, but no better time than the present. And she tells him that that is something that her family used to make growing up, and they used to make it with chocho, but when they moved to California, they had to start calling it chayote because chocho sounds really close to chocha, which is the Spanish word for vajayjay. So they started laughing, but the son didn't feel like they should be laughing at a time like that with the news that they just found out. And the mom was like, why not? Basically, we're not gonna stop living. I'm not gonna go out without a fight. Next thing we know, we made it to a scene in this damn office room with Colonel Taylor. And I'm like, Colonel Taylor, what? I was like, oh my gosh, this must be the reading of the will because this looked too dreary. Byron is irritated. Whoever they're waiting on is late and he just want to get on with it. But Colonel Taylor let him know, I have to honor your mom's wishes. She wants me to do this in front of the both of you. So they're waiting on Benny, right? And Byron lets Colonel Taylor know, you don't know what we're dealing with. We haven't seen Benny in 8 years. The girl stayed right up the street about an hour away. She didn't even come back for our dad's funeral. Like, can we just get on with it? And he let him know, no, your mother insisted, that I talked to both of you. So by this time, you hear the elevator chime, and it's Benny. She rushing in. She couldn't find the keys. Something wrong with the car. This, that, and the other. She set the stuff down. She's like, but I'm here. She look over to Byron, and she's like, Byron, just give me an effing hug. And Byron like, don't act like you care. She says, I'm not acting. Ma is D-A-D. And I'm like, no, Sherlock. He know. He was there. He been there the whole time. Then she gonna ask him, what am I supposed to do? Well, if you was asking me, I need you to sit down. Sit down and shut up. You already 30 minutes late. Now, if you want to know what you should have done, when I sent you that message and said that mom had an accident, you should have texted me back. When I left that voicemail and said that she was fine, that I'm here, and you don't need to call back, you still should have texted or you should have called back. If anything, you could have showed up. So don't be standing in my face talking about what you're supposed to do. Right now, just sit down with your want to be helpful. You want to be helpful all of a sudden. Help me by not to get on my nerves so that Colonel Taylor can get us through this. So you can go about your business, I can go about mine. But see, Byron didn't say that. Byron told her. So Byron tells her, you should have showed up. That's what you should have done. This girl gonna flip it on him talking about, you didn't even tell me that she was sick. Benny, why did he have to tell you that? You didn't have her number? You didn't have your mama number that you could have checked on yourself? And Byron like, you didn't even call back after the accident. She like, but you said she was fine. I wanted to tighten that little head scarf that she had wrapped around her hair so bad. Because, baby, maybe if we tighten it, it'll relieve some of that pressure that you got on your brain. Because what you're not about to do is walk up in here and make me the problem. Like Byron told her, baby, that was a year ago. She ain't have nothing to say after that. So Byron tells Colonel Taylor, whose name is Mr. Mitch, that they can, like we can get on with. He apologized, like, I'm sorry for this, what we just did right here, but we can get on with it. So Byron, he want to get on with the reading of the will, but Colonel Taylor, like, it's not that simple. So he hands him a letter that the mom left for Byron and Benny, and she let them know that there's a black cake in the fridge. I want y'all to eat it together when the time is right, and you'll know when the time is right. Then he pulls out a flash drive, and they like, what is that? And he was like, the rest of the message. She has 7 recordings that she wants you all to sit down at home and listen to together in my presence. Benny is already objecting because she like, you can't make a copy of something, we can listen to it, on our own time. And he's like, no, this is what she wanted. She wanted y'all to sit down together and listen to these recordings. Colonel Taylor is like, y'all, you already said that she really didn't talk about her past. Now is the time. So it's up to you. Either you want to hear about it or you want to go the rest of your life wondering about it. So what do you want to do? So the next scene cuts to Benny. She done pulled up at the house so that they can go in and listen to these recordings and get this thing started. So then you hear the mom's voice. She's apologizing for waiting so long to tell them about her past and their past. She apologizes for lying. She apologizes for keeping secrets. She tells them that it was unnatural for her to say that she didn't have roots, that they didn't have roots, because everybody has roots, even orphans. She said, but I wasn't raised in an orphanage. Now, when I tell you the confused looks that's going across Benny and Byron's face, because right now, I know if that was me, I would have been like, wait a minute. What are you talking about, Mama? Then she says that her name is not Eleanor. Now, at this point, as the oldest child, I would be trying to figure, like, who is this lady? Did she kidnap me? What in the world is going on? And she tells them that there are people who are wondering what happened to the girl that she used to be. And after they didn't listen to all these 7 recordings, she wants them to find those people and tell them about her. So now the scene cuts to the past. Now we going back. So now we in the West Indies, and you hear the lady narrating saying that there were 2 girls in the 50s and 60s who did everything together. They weren't sisters, they were best friends, but they were basically like sisters. Then you see this beautiful black woman, milk chocolate, smooth skin, and this Chinese man, and he's like, we're doing all right for ourselves, right? And she's like, we could be doing better if you stop all that poker and that cockfight. And he like, how you think we pay the bills? Them customers that come up in there, they buying on credit. Do you really think they gonna be paying their money back? And she getting irritated. She like, you know what, just don't even worry about it. Don't, just forget I asked about it. And so he got to get back to the shop. Then you hear the lady continue to narrate, saying that she's always been fat. She's been swimming like she just want to get away from the ocean the same way her mom did. And her mom left them when she was 11 years old. But she says that she never felt alone, because whenever she swam, Bunny was right behind her, and Bunny is her best friend, and her dad is always there. So she runs the race. She runs the swimming competition. She get first place. Her dad up there. He like, that's my daughter. That's my daughter. He's so happy. But when he looked down, he see her talking to a boy, and he don't like that. And he make his way right on down there to break that up, because I don't know what you doing, little girl. So the dad that made his way down there, he's like, come and Tina. And she turns around, she's like, Dad, look, I told you I was gonna win. She's so excited. He not paying no attention to none of that. He look over to that young man and say, who is this? So the young man walks over. He introduces himself as Gibbs Grant. He has his hand up. He's very polite. He says, nice to meet you. That dad looked down at him and didn't shake his hand, didn't even say nothing to him. He was like, so the dad looks back over at Coventina. He's like, who is he? I didn't even see him swim today. He's like, I graduated already. I can't swim with the team. And she was like, yes, he's already graduated. He's on his way to London. He's going to be a lawyer. Then none of that impressed the dad. He pulled her right on the way, basically like, girl, I done kept you on the straight and narrow all this time. I'm not going to let no little boy come in and mess all of this up. You do know that you're not allowed to date, right? You do know that you're not old enough. You don't have permission to do all that. And she's like, I'm almost 18. He said, you going to keep your head in the books, and you going to keep focusing on your swimming. You got that? And she's basically like, yes, sir. Then he takes her medal with him, and he walks off. So her best friend walks over, and she's like, I know it don't seem like it, but I really think he cares. So when they look to where the dad, when he over there bragging about his daughter got first place and all that, she's like, yeah, to brag. So Coventina, who they calls Covey, she goes over to Gibbs to apologize, for her dad's rude behavior. And she was like, he's all bark, no bite. And he was basically like, if that's the case, why we hiding that we got the relationship? But she just stand there. He was like, I don't have long. I will be going off to London. I just wanted to enjoy it. And she's like, me too. And she lets him know that her and Bunny will be going down to the bay, to practice on their swimming. And she asks him to join them down at the bay. So Covey and Bunny, they make it down to the bay to train, but when they look up, Gibbs is coming, and Bunny's like, girl, I can't compete with that. Go on about your business. So Covey was like, just give me an hour and we are gonna train like I promised. So she goes over there, talks to Gibbs. He brought his longboard. She grabs it to go surf, but she gets wiped out by a wave. He gets worried. He swims out there, but she fine. They just in the water talking, arms around each other, but everybody's looking. So she was like, come with me. She swims them over to a little dugout. So they over there talking, doing what the young kids do. And all of a sudden she hear Bunny call her name. She's like, oh my gosh, I lost track of time. I did promise her that we were going to practice today. So as they swim out, the scene changes because a storm has come. In the narration, Eleanor says that back then, you didn't know when a storm was coming. You didn't know that the hurricane was coming until it was right on the island. So doing what young kids do, thinking they invincible, they still wanted to train. Even though the storm was coming now, they get trapped out there in the ocean. At the shop, Lynn gets a call and it's Bunny's dad. And basically he's asking, are they there? He's like, no, Kobe said she was coming over your house, only to find out that they were training. So the parents, the dad get down there, pull his daughter out, and she like, we lost her, we lost Covey. Covey is trapped on the water. She feel like she being punished for disobeying her dad and sneaking around with Gibbs. And then all of a sudden she hear her dad's name. She hear her dad calling her name. And hearing her dad call her name gave her the strength to push through, to swim through the storm and make it to shore. Once they see her making it to shore, Gibbs and the dad run towards her to help her. But the dad is hot. He basically pushed him out the way, like, you better move, because this is your fault. She has never disrespected me like that. She has never missed curfew, but your influence is what caused this. And if you ever come around my child again, you know what that means. Y'all come over here again if you want to. Leave her alone. Eleanor/Covey lets us know that a lot of damage was done. The hurricane caused a lot of damage and it took a lot of lives. But she said the worst damage was done overnight, and that damage changed all of their lives forever. The next thing you know, it's morning time and somebody is banging on the door saying, Lynn, come quick, your shop is on fire. So she runs downstairs trying to see what's going on. The dad telling her, don't worry about it. Go on back to bed. He run out the house. She run after him. She's like, Dad. He's like, go back in the house. You out here with your night clothes on. She take her scarf off and give it to him and say, for the smoke. But when she looked to the side, it's two young black men standing right there looking very suspicious, I must say. So she goes back in the house. Then you see her and this black lady who may be her nanny or the housekeeper. Then the dad walks back in. He coughing because all that smoke. She asks him, did you wear my scarf? Baby, look around. He's smoking a cigarette. She's like, Dad. He's like, girl, let me live. He really don't want to hear nothing. Like, don't be asking me all these questions. I got enough on my mind with what's going on. She want to know, can the shop be saved? Now, he really in his feelings. He's like, I moved here, started a business here, raised a family here, and I'm still a foreigner to these effing people. Like, he bothered, baby. So after he said that, it dawns on Eleanor/Covey that it wasn't an accident. It was the Henry brothers who set the shop on fire. Let's not forget, the mom asked him to stop gambling. Now he done got himself caught up. So what he decided to do, since he was behind on rent, he went to somebody called Lil Man to get a loan. And she's like, you went to a loan shark? You already lost my mom to gambling. Now you done lost our shop. So now he mad at her time. So girl, I must gave you too much freedom if you think that you could talk to me like that. He like, baby, just because you talk all proper and stuff, that don't mean that you can be talking to me like that. What I should have did was pulled you out of school and put you behind that counter. That way you'll see how lucky you are. Kofi like, lucky? He's like, yeah, lucky. I came here as a little boy. My parents sacrificed everything only for me to raise an ungrateful child that took after her hawk-white mama. I was like, wait a minute. Hawk-white, baby. The way he said it was so much vitriol. I was like, that ain't good. So what is that in Chinese? That's y'all slur for the black folk? Baby, I had to look it up, and yes, it is. So she stands up and asks him, so you call my mama a slur? Somebody that's half of me? So really, when you look at me, you only see her. You don't see me and you know her. So the housekeeper, she's like, he didn't mean it. Apologize, Lynn. And I'm sitting there looking at her like, oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, he did mean it. Because most of the time, when people get frustrated and angry, that's when they really speak their truth. They are really being truthful when they angry and sometimes when they drunk. Just let them talk. Kofi / Eleanor / Kofi is really hurt. She is really hurt by what her dad said about her mom. And she feels like that her dad hates her because the mom left. And the housekeeper, whose name is Pearl, who is the mom's best friend, says no, he don't hate you. He hates himself. And Eleanor / Kofi wants to know, why didn't her mom take her when she left? And that's a good question. Like, why didn't you take your baby girl with you? So now it cuts to the next scene, right? Baby, guess what we at? Down at the cockfight. Lynn, you just don't learn, do you? What is it gonna take? Do you need a rooster to cock-a-doodle to do you upside your head so they can knock some sense into you? That's how you got into the mess that you in now. So he's sitting down there talking to Bunny Dad, and Bunny Dad trying to handle some money. And he trying to be prideful, like he don't want to take it. Boy, if you don't grab this money with your broke tail, and he like, I know this ain't gonna get you out of there, but at least it can help. So he take the money. He's like, that's not my only problem. He's like, what? Raising a daughter? He was like, yeah. So the dad, Bunny's dad is telling him, with a girl like Kofi, she needs a mom. And he's like, a girl like Kofi? Like, what you trying to say about my daughter? He was like, fearless. She's fearless. A girl like Kofi who is fearless like that, she needs her mother or her husband to keep her in line. And when he said that, you could tell the dad is thinking about what he said, right? So then we see Kofi, she coming home from school, and when she narrates, she's saying that she can't believe that her dad would take some money from Lil Man. Like, Lil Man is violent. He don't play about his money. You may never see Lil Man, but his brother's always around looking and ready to take something that don't belong to them. So now we see Kofi. She done got out her school clothes. What your mom said, get out your school clothes, put on your play clothes. So she got out of her school clothes. She turned on some music, so she dancing around. And then she cutting up like a mango, having her little afternoon snack. So then you see these figures walking up on the porch. And as she dancing around, this man stands in the doorway. And I was like, baby, I know good and well that ain't Lil Man. You mean Lil Old Man standing up there like he the older brother of Eddie Kane? So when he said that's a nice tune, she turned around. She is scared. She is in fear. And she was like, my father's not here. He said, I know. That's why I'm here. So she is bagging up, and she done bagged up into the refrigerator. And she was like, no, stop. He was like, are you that modest when you down there at the beach with that Gibbs boy? Sir, don't you worry about what she doing down there at the beach with the Gibbs boy. Why are you here? Where is your scooter? Where is your Geritol? You don't even need to be here, sir. Walking up on that girl like that. Yo, nasty tail. So Lil Old Man is trying to kiss Kofi. So she pushed him away and tell him to stop. Don't you know this man grabbed her by both of her arms and pushed her into the refrigerator? Talking about, do you think that Gibbs boy gonna help your dad to pay off his debt? He can't even keep his woman, let alone keep his shop. Did you know that shop didn't belong to him no more? It belonged to me. And if you don't want to lose this house, you better watch your mouth around me, little girl. And then he gonna, move into her, but then he walk away. I'm like, you nasty dog. Little Man and his brothers, they leave. She run over, she closed and locked the door. She's scared. She run up to her room. She's trying to get that nastiness off of her. She's rubbing her body. She's taking deep breaths, because even though he didn't SA her, it felt like it. Somebody all up in your space like that, and it feels like they're about to do it. That's what she felt. So she grabbed a sweater and put it on top of her clothes, because the top that she had on was like a peplum belly top. So when she put it on, she looked in the mirror. It's a picture of her mom that she has hanging on her mirror. She takes the picture and balls it up. She just breaks down screaming and crying. So the camera zooms out, and it's nighttime. She hears somebody coming in. It's her dad. She run out there. She hug him. She's scared. She tell him, Little Man came here. He put his hands on me. I was going to call the police, but I know what you said. You said be careful when doing something like that. He tells her to calm down. Let me explain. He asked my permission to visit you. And you gave it, fool. You gave little old man the permission to visit your daughter when you was down there at the swim race acting a fool because she was talking to a boy her age and gonna tell her that you know that you not old enough to date, but she old enough to have an old man visiting her. You don't have no sense. Just a whole fool. Kofi feel like I feel. So you gave him permission to come and see me after you act a fool about me not being old enough to date? This somebody gonna say Clarence wanna court you, and she's like, when you start calling him Clarence? He was like, that's the only way I'm gonna be able to get us out of this debt is through marriage. Baby, when that man said that, the way I wanted to do a spin kick and knock the taste out of his mouth. You telling me that you sold your daughter to pay off your debt? That's your daughter. You are a low down, dirty daddy. You are low down in there. That's your child. And you gonna sell your child into marriage to get out of debt from somebody like little old man? That man can get your daughter and marry her and still make you have to pay that debt. Oh my man. He said he been asking for you for some time now. Just warm up to him. Give him a chance. And she is so hurt. She is so broken. She like, don't do this to me, please. He gonna say, I wish there was another way. If you would have listened to your wife from jump and stopped gambling, you wouldn't be in this position. Kofi, she peeks in on her dad. Baby, he's sloppy drunk. He knocked out. So she meets Gibbs down at the bay. Let him know everything that just happened. She let him know she don't want none of this. And he's like, well, come to London with me. She was like, when? He said, tonight. I can find us a place before school starts. And she was like, no, I can't leave, because if I leave, they gonna kill him. My dad has he has always shown up for me. And I just really believe he will get me out of this. And Gibbs, like me, he the one who put you in this. So what makes you feel like he gonna get you out of it? This man is sacrificing you. He is selling you to somebody to pay off his money. And there's no guarantee that if it happened, he gonna still let him live. Like, girl, if you don't go with this boy to London, Gibbs like, so what if he don't? What if he don't get you out of this? She said, I'm going to play along, buy some time until my dad can get his finances together, and he's going to get me out of this. Like, even after hearing her dad stand in her face and tell her that he sold her into marriage, she still has faith and love in her dad. That's some strong love. Because we would have been strangers as soon as he said that to me. Gibbs tells her, well, if she changed her mind, just come to London and find him. She gets up, walks away, and he calls out to her again, like, but what if your dad don't find a way to get you out of this? She walks back over, she let him know that she loves him. He said, good, because I love you too. And then she gives herself to him. She says that nobody can take this away from us, and this is something that I choose, and this is something that I want. Child, next scene, she getting fitted for her wedding dress. As she's narrating the scene, she says that she convinced herself that she was really buying time, and the people who truly loved and cared for her would get her out of this, only for her to walk into the kitchen and see the housekeeper Pearl making a black cake for the wedding. Kofi is very hurt and disappointed in Pearl, because she don't understand why Pearl wasn't trying to figure out a way to get her out of there. Because she's like, who paid you to make this cake? It's Pearl, like, your father, of course. She was like, why would you do that? She said, what do you want me to do? Disobey your father? And Kofi is looking at her like, you promised my mom that you would take care of me. You should have been trying to figure out a way to get us out of this nightmare. And you want to stand up here and make a black cake? Oh my gosh. Now we're at the wedding. She's in the waiting area, And Bunny comes in. She said, I told Pearl that I tried to get you to wear this, which is a something blue, and it's a necklace. Bunny tries to comfort her and tell her, like, you're going to get through this. And she was like, I don't think I can. She said, just let your mind drift. The same way we do in long swims. Just let your mind drift. So she leaves out, told her she'll see her out there. The door opens. It's her old dusty daddy coming in there, and she let him know, when this is over, you're DEAD to me. And I don't blame her. And he's standing up there looking all sad. Don't look sad now. You weren't sad when you told Clarence that he can go talk to your daughter. When you told Clarence that he can marry her. You wasn't sad then, were you? Pick your face up and go out there and look at what you did. Go out there and sit on that front row and look at how you just messed your daughter's life up. So now we're at the reception, and Covey is sitting over there at the sweetheart table. She is pissed off. She cannot believe that this is her life right now. Bunny comes over talking to her. She brings her some cake, and she like, lilac? No, I don't like lilac. And then little old man come over there. Bunny says, when we gonna see you dance? He was like, when I have a couple of more of these, and he takes some drink. So the song changed, and Bunny's like, I like this song. But when she get ready to move, her cake drops on Covey's dress, and he was like, can we get somebody over here to clean my wife up? But after he says that, he starts choking. He fall out, and then he's foaming at the mouth. Everybody looking like, what the heck is going on? They calling out to him. He just down there shaking like he having a seizure. You look up, Covey then took off running. So that's the opening scene when you see the girl running through what I thought was the jungle. She running away. She is out of there. Covey got out of that dress, and she swam out to that ocean and made it to that little cutout, that big rock thing. So she over there hiding out. Go back to the reception, baby. Little old man gone. He out of here. What they fit to be planning now is a funeral. The police find part of Covey's wedding dress, give it to the dad, and want to know, did you see anything? Like, what's going on? And he's like, the man got enemies. He was like, but are you one of them? He was like, my daughter is missing. He was like, right now your daughter is a MURDER suspect. And he was like, we'll get back with you. And the police officer walk off. Pearl and Bunny are walking along the bay because they think that she is DAD. They crying, they sad. And Bunny is like, she has to be out there. Pearl says, it's not. They looked everywhere. So she looks across to the cave, and she said, not everywhere. The next thing you know, Bunny is, Kofi makes it back. Bunny says, I'm so happy that you waited it out in your cave. I'm so happy that you okay. And she was like, Kofi says, what happened to Lil Man? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Here's a bag, food, money, clothes, money from Pearl. She said that you can get out of here. You can go to England under your mother's surname, Coventina Brown. They take island girls at a boarding house. You have to go. It's a ship leaving tonight. You got to get on it and never look back. She tells her, I don't deserve you. Bunny tells her, that's where you're wrong. You deserve the world, and I hope you get it. And Covey reminds her, if one of us go, both of us go. Bunny lets her know that everybody except for Pearl thinks you're DEAD. And it got to stay that way, and that includes Gibbs. You got to go, baby. You got to get out of here. Covey makes it to the ship, and as she's narrating it, she's like, Covey is DAD. At least she thought, but it didn't take her long to realize you can't run from the truth. She says eventually the truth will surface, and when it does, you have to reckon with it. She makes it to London, and she makes it to the boarding house. She meets her roommate, Eleanor. So that's where the name Eleanor comes from. And she says that to truly bury that broken girl, because she was saying that Covey was DAD, but in order to truly bury that broken girl and to ensure her safety from anyone coming from across that island trying to look for her, unfortunately, Eleanor, whose nickname is Ellie, would have to DIE. And that's how The first episode ends, and I'm like, babe, what did you talking about? That she got to do? What are you about to do? So I'm ready to get into the second episode. What did y'all think? Have y'all seen? Well, if you seen it, don't put no spoilers in it. Just act like you didn't see it, and then let's just talk about this first episode and what did you think about it? Timestamp whatever you want to timestamp, because I thought this was so good. This first episode was really good. It was kind of long. I mean, I know it's an hour, but it just felt like there was a lot packed into that hour. But I liked it. Y'all get down there. Let's talk about it. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on your notification bell. I be forgetting to say that part. But y'all, I really appreciate y'all being here. I really do. And I'll talk to y'all later.